Have you ever felt it? That sinking sensation in your chest when someone you deeply care for starts to pull away. The once vibrant connection feels like it's slipping through your fingers, like trying to hold water in your cupped hands. Their distance leaves you questioning everything, your worth, your actions, and even the foundation of the relationship. You might find yourself wondering, what went wrong? Can I do anything to bring them back? Before despair takes hold, let me assure you, the answer isn't found in chasing, pleading, or losing yourself to keep them. Instead, it lies in reclaiming your power, embodying your inner strength, and aligning your actions with principles that draw people closer not through force, but through genuine magnetism. In this video, we'll delve into 10 Stoic-inspired actions that will shift the dynamic and help you regain balance, not just in the relationship, but within yourself. These steps aren't about manipulation or tricks. They are about self-mastery, self-respect, and understanding the deep truth of human connection. And here's the kicker. The most profound revelation comes at the very end, where we discuss the ultimate freedom you gain by embracing a Stoic mindset. Stay with me, because by the time we're done, you won't just learn how to bring them back, you'll learn how to become the person you were always meant to be. 1. Be ready to let go. In moments of uncertainty, when someone begins to pull away, our instinct is to cling tighter. But ask yourself this: does holding on serve you, or does it merely amplify your fear? What if the secret to bringing them back lies in being truly willing to let go? Stoicism teaches us to accept what we cannot control and to focus our energy on mastering our own responses. As Epictetus said, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. When you're willing to release your grip on what isn't serving you, you not only regain control of your own emotions, but you also create space for something more meaningful to emerge. Now think of it this way: when you hold sand tightly in your fist, most of it escapes through your fingers. But when you let your hand rest open, the sand stays. Similarly, holding on to someone who is pulling away often suffocates the relationship. By loosening your grip, you allow both of you to breathe, reflect, and decide what truly matters. But letting go is easier said than done. The mind whispers fears of abandonment, of unworthiness, of failure. These fears can become chains, binding you to a situation that might not even reflect your true value. Ask yourself, am I clinging to them because I love them, or because I'm afraid of losing them? The distinction is crucial. When you release your fear, you also release the need for validation. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you prioritize your dignity and well-being over the uncertainty of someone else's actions. Letting go is not an act of giving up. It is an act of profound self-respect. Imagine the impact this has on them. When they see you standing tall, calm, and unshaken, it shifts the dynamic. Your willingness to let go tells them, I value myself enough to walk away if I must. This quiet confidence is magnetic, drawing them toward you in ways desperation never could. So, how do you begin? Reflect on this question. What am I afraid of if I let them go? Then remind yourself that your worth is not tied to their presence. Meditate on the principle of amor fati, to love and accept fate. By embracing what comes and releasing what goes, you embody the very essence of Stoicism. Letting go is not a loss, it is a victory over fear. It's a declaration to yourself and to them. What I am whole with or without you. As we move to the next step, we'll explore how standing firm in your self-worth amplifies this effect, creating a foundation for deeper respect and connection. Ready to learn how to stand for yourself? 2. Stand for yourself. When someone you care about begins to pull away, the temptation to bend, to mold yourself into whatever they need, can be overwhelming. But let me ask you, what do you lose when you sacrifice your dignity for their attention? Is it truly love you're preserving, or is it simply fear disguised as devotion? Stoicism teaches us that self-respect is non-negotiable. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, never esteem anything as of advantage to you that will make you break your word or lose your self-respect. To stand for yourself means refusing to compromise your values, even when the situation feels precarious. This doesn't make you rigid, it makes you principled. Consider this. When you allow someone to treat you as an afterthought, what message are you sending? You may think you're preserving the relationship, but in truth, you're eroding its foundation. No relationship built on uneven respect can truly thrive. Standing firm in your self-worth isn't about confrontation, it's about quietly asserting, I know my value and I will not accept less. Imagine a partner pulling away and expecting you to chase after them. Now picture yourself not as the desperate follower, but as the calm, self-assured person who respects their own boundaries. You don't yell, you don't beg, you simply stand firm. This shift in behavior forces them to pause, to reassess. Your composure and self-respect become undeniable. But how do you achieve this balance? It begins with clarity. Ask yourself, what are my values? What kind of treatment am I willing to accept, and what am I not? Write it down if you need to. Then commit to living by those standards. Standing for yourself also requires courage, especially when fear whispers that firmness will drive them further away. Yet the opposite is often true. Respect breeds attraction. When you show that you're not willing to bend for crumbs, you elevate yourself in their eyes. And if they can't rise to meet you, you've spared yourself further heartache. Let me offer a metaphor. You are a tree with deep roots. Winds may blow, storms may rage, but you stand tall. Your strength is in your grounding, your unwavering commitment to yourself. People are drawn to that strength because it represents stability, something we all yearn for in a world full of uncertainties. Take a moment now to reflect. Where in my life have I allowed myself to compromise my dignity? What can I do today to reclaim it? If this resonates with you, let me know in the comments below. Share how you're choosing to stand for yourself or simply declare, I am worth more. Your stories inspire others and create a ripple effect of self-respect and empowerment. And if you find these principles helpful, show your support by liking this video. It's a small act that means a great deal in spreading the wisdom of Stoicism. Now that we've established the power of self-respect, let's move to the next step, avoiding the trap of desperation. Because true strength lies not in chasing, but in knowing when to hold back. Stay with me. 3. Don't be desperate. Desperation. It creeps in quietly, fueled by fear and uncertainty. When someone begins to pull away, the urge to chase, to over-explain, or to plead can feel overwhelming. But pause and consider. What does desperation achieve? Does it bring them closer or does it push them further away? In truth, desperation repels. It signals that your happiness and self-worth are tied entirely to their presence, creating an imbalance that is neither healthy nor attractive. Stoicism offers a powerful counter to this mindset. Marcus Aurelius reminds us you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In other words, you cannot control whether someone stays or goes, but you can control how you respond. And think of a time when someone desperately sought your attention. Perhaps they texted too often, clung too tightly, or tried too hard to win your favor. How did it make you feel? Likely overwhelmed, perhaps even annoyed. The same holds true when the roles are reversed. Desperation shifts the focus away from mutual respect and connection, replacing it with imbalance and tension. So how do you avoid this trap? First, understand that the need to act out of desperation often stems from fear of loss, loneliness, or rejection. But these fears are not insurmountable. Ask yourself, am I chasing them because I love them or because I'm afraid of losing them? This question can illuminate the true motivation behind your actions. Next, practice restraint. If they text you, don't rush to respond immediately. If you feel the urge to call or message them repeatedly, pause. Take a deep breath and redirect your focus inward. Consider what this moment of silence can teach you about your own strength and patience. When you act from a place of calm rather than panic, you reclaim your power. Desperation also clouds communication. When you're desperate, your words can come across as pleading or incoherent. Purposeful communication, speaking clearly and with intention, becomes impossible when driven by fear. Remember, your ability to remain composed sends a powerful message. I am not dependent on you for my sense of self. Imagine the impact this has on the person pulling away. Instead of feeling smothered, they encounter someone who is steady and composed, someone who values themselves enough to avoid unnecessary pursuit. So create space for them to reflect on their own feelings, free from the pressure that desperation brings. Finally, remember that you are whole on your own. Your value is not diminished because someone is distancing themselves. By embracing this truth, you free yourself from the chains of neediness. You stop acting out of fear and start living in alignment with your worth. Desperation is a reaction to uncertainty, but uncertainty does not have to define you. Through the practice of self-restraint and reflection, you can move forward with dignity, allowing your actions to be guided by inner strength rather than external circumstances. Let this principle settle within you. As we move forward, we'll explore how to enhance this inner calm through self-assurance, transforming not just the relationship, but the way you perceive yourself. Ready to embody confidence? Let's continue. 4. Exude self-assurance. When the ground beneath your relationship begins to feel unstable, it's easy to question yourself. Am I not enough? Did I do something wrong? These doubts, left unchecked, can erode your confidence and amplify your fears. But pause and reflect. What does it mean to truly know your worth, even when others are uncertain about theirs? Self-assurance is not arrogance. It is a quiet, unshakable belief in your value. Stoicism teaches us to anchor ourselves in what we can control, and nothing is more within our control than how we see ourselves. As Marcus Aurelius said, a man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions. This worth is defined by how you view your actions, character, and intentions, not by the fleeting opinions of others. To embody self-assurance, begin by separating their actions from your value. If someone is pulling away, it does not necessarily reflect a failure on your part. People's behaviors are shaped by countless factors, their fears, insecurities, and circumstances. Remind yourself, their distance is their choice, my response is mine. Imagine yourself in this scenario. They're growing distant, and you have two options. You could panic, questioning your every move, or you could remain steady, rooted in your knowledge of who you are and what you were into the relationship. Which version of you do you think they'd respect more? Which version do you respect more? Where self-assurance isn't about ignoring flaws or pretending you're perfect. It's about acknowledging your imperfections while still recognizing your worth. Ask yourself, what are my strengths? What do I contribute to this relationship? What values do I stand for? Reflecting on these questions can help you reconnect with your core self and reinforce your confidence. Let's take this further. How you carry yourself, the way you walk, speak, and even respond to silence, communicates your level of self-assurance. When you're confident, your tone becomes measured, your posture upright, your energy composed. These non-verbal signals speak volumes. They say, I am at peace with myself. Now consider the effect this has on the person pulling away. When they see that you are steady and composed, even in uncertainty, it challenges their perception. Instead of viewing you as someone desperate for their attention, they see you as someone who values themselves deeply. This shift in perspective can create curiosity, even admiration. They may begin to question their own actions. Why are they so calm? Have I underestimated them? But self-assurance is not about trying to evoke a reaction. It's about grounding yourself in your own truth. When you no longer seek validation from them or anyone else, you become free. You stop measuring your worth through the lens of their attention and start living in alignment with your values. This freedom is the true essence of Stoicism. It allows you to face the unpredictability of relationships with grace and resilience. You are no longer swayed by external forces because your foundation is within. Take a moment to reflect on this. What would my life look like if I fully trusted in my own worth? How would I speak, act, and carry myself differently? The answer to this question is your pathway to self-assurance. As we move forward, we'll build on this foundation by exploring the role of ambition in rekindling connections and transforming not just your relationships, but your entire life. Ready to take your next step? Let's continue. 5. Cultivate ambition. When relationships falter, it's tempting to focus all your energy on the other person, fixating on their thoughts, their actions, their distance. But pause for a moment and consider, what if the answer isn't found in them but in you? What if reigniting their interest begins with reigniting your own passions? Ambition is not just about career or material success, it's about having a purpose, a vision for your life that goes beyond the ordinary. Stoicism teaches us the importance of striving for personal excellence, no matter the circumstances. As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This call to action reminds us that fulfillment and connection come from living a life of meaning. When someone pulls away, it's natural to feel small, as though their absence diminishes you. But let me ask you, what dreams have you put on hold? What goals have you set aside in your pursuit of this relationship? These are the questions that can guide you back to yourself. Imagine this scenario. The person you care about begins to see you not as someone waiting in the wings, but as someone moving forward, chasing goals, and making an impact. Picture their reaction when they realize you're not just existing, you're thriving. Suddenly, their perception of you shifts. You're no longer the person they took for granted, you're someone they admire. Ambition creates a magnetic energy. It shows that you're passionate about something greater than the relationship alone. And that kind of focus is incredibly attractive. It tells the world and them that you're not defined by their presence or absence. You're defined by your purpose. But how do you cultivate ambition when your heart feels heavy with uncertainty? Start small. Reflect on what excites you, what makes you come alive. Is there a skill you've always wanted to learn? A project you've been meaning to start? A fitness goal you've been putting off? Take one step toward it today. As you pursue these goals, you'll notice a change not just in how they see you, but in how you see yourself. Your confidence will grow, your energy will shift, and you'll start to realize that your worth is not tied to their actions. You are a force moving forward with or without them. Now think about how this ties into Stoicism. To live a virtuous life, as the Stoics taught, is to live with purpose, discipline, and intention. Ambition, when rooted in these principles, becomes a vehicle for growth, not just for yourself, but for the relationship as well. Your drive can inspire them to reflect on their own life, their own goals, and what they truly value. So here's my challenge for you. Take one step today toward your ambitions. Then share it in the comments. What goal are you working toward? What dream are you reigniting? Your story could inspire someone else to do the same. And if this idea resonates with you, show your support by liking this video. It's a small action, but it helps spread the message of Stoicism and personal growth to others who may need it. Together we can create a ripple effect of ambition and purpose. In the next step, we'll explore how to communicate with purpose, a skill that, when done right, can rebuild connection and create deeper understanding. Ready to refine your words and actions? Let's continue. 6. Communicate with purpose. In times of distance and uncertainty, communication can feel like a fragile bridge. Say too little, and you risk being misunderstood. Say too much, and you may overwhelm or push the other person further away. This delicate balance raises an important question. How do you ensure your words strengthen the connection rather than weaken it? Purposeful communication is not about saying what you think they want to hear. It's about clarity, intention, and respect for both your feelings and theirs. Stoicism reminds us to temper our words with wisdom and restraint. Epictetus advised, first learn the meaning of what you say and then speak. This principle guides us to pause and reflect before engaging in dialogue, ensuring that our words serve the greater good of understanding and connection. Consider the difference between reactive and purposeful communication. A reactive message, driven by fear or desperation, might look like this. Why are you pulling away? Don't you care about us anymore? I don't know what I'll do if you leave. While heartfelt, these words place the burden of your emotional state squarely on their shoulders, which can feel overwhelming. In contrast, purposeful communication focuses on expressing your feelings while respecting their autonomy. I've noticed some distance between us, and I want to understand what's going on. I care about you, and I'm here when you're ready to talk. This approach is calm, concise, and non-pressuring. It conveys your concern without demanding an immediate response. But communication isn't only about the words you say, it's also about how you listen. Listening with presence and patience shows that you value their perspective as much as your own. So when they feel heard and understood, it creates a foundation for deeper dialogue and mutual respect. Ask yourself, am I truly listening, or am I just waiting for my turn to speak? This distinction can transform the way you engage. Timing also matters. Purposeful communication means choosing the right moment to address sensitive topics. If emotions are running high, it's often better to wait until both of you are calm. The Stoics emphasize the importance of tempering passion with reason. By waiting, you demonstrate restraint and wisdom, qualities that foster trust and openness. Finally, remember that communication is not only verbal. Your tone, body language, and even your silence convey meaning. A composed demeanor, steady eye contact, and a calm tone can speak volumes about your self-assurance and respect for the situation. Conversely, a frantic or accusatory tone undermines your message, no matter how valid your points may be. Imagine the impact of purposeful communication on the person pulling away. Instead of encountering panic or blame, they see someone who is thoughtful, composed, and genuinely invested in understanding them. This creates a safe space for them to open up, free from the pressure of confrontation or guilt. Purposeful communication is not about controlling the outcome. It's about fostering clarity and trust. When you approach conversations with this mindset, you not only navigate the present challenge more effectively, but you also set the tone for healthier communication moving forward. As you reflect on this principle, consider this question. How can I ensure that my words reflect my values and intentions, even in the face of uncertainty? The answer lies in the deliberate practice of calm, respectful dialogue. Now that we've explored how to communicate with intention, let's delve into the next strategy: Creating space by being less available. How does stepping back rather than leaning in strengthen connection? Let's find out. 7. Be less available. When someone begins to pull away, the natural reaction is often to try harder, reach out more, make yourself more available, and do whatever it takes to keep the connection alive. But what if this instinct to close the gap actually widens it? What if the key to rekindling their interest lies not in constant presence, but in creating space? Can absence, rather than attention, reignite their desire to connect? Being less available is not about playing games or pretending to be indifferent. It's about recalibrating the balance of attention and energy in the relationship. Stoicism teaches us to value our time and energy, focusing on what truly matters and not wasting effort on what lies beyond our control. As Seneca wisely observed, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Your time is precious. By becoming less available, you're not only respecting it, you're inviting them to respect it too. Consider what happens when you're always available. Your constant presence becomes predictable, even taken for granted. They may come to assume that no matter how distant they are, you'll always be there, ready and waiting. This dynamic subtly erodes the excitement and intrigue that initially sparked the relationship. Now imagine a shift. You begin to prioritize yourself, your interests, passions, and personal goals over always being accessible to them. You respond to messages when it feels right, rather than instantly. You engage when it aligns with your needs and priorities, not out of a sense of obligation. This shift doesn't mean you're ignoring them. It means you're valuing yourself. The effect of this change can be profound. When they realize you're no longer a constant, unquestioning presence, it prompts reflection. Why are they not as available as before? What's changed? This space creates an opportunity for them to reevaluate their behavior and reconsider your role in their life. But becoming less available is not just for their benefit, it's for yours. By stepping back, you allow yourself the time and energy to reconnect with what fulfills you. What hobbies have you neglected? What friendships have you let lapse? What passions have you put on hold? Use this space to reinvest in your own life. It's important to approach this principle with authenticity. Being less available isn't about manufacturing distance or withholding affection as a tactic. It's about genuinely reclaiming your time and energy for the things that matter most to you. When you focus on yourself in this way, you naturally become less reliant on their validation, which paradoxically makes you more attractive. Consider this analogy. A flame needs air to burn. If you smother it with constant fuel, it will die out. But when you give it space to breathe, it has room to grow. Relationships are no different. Creating space allows curiosity, appreciation, and connection to reignite. As you step back, ask yourself, what do I gain by always being available? And what might I discover about myself by creating space? The answers may surprise you. Now that we've explored the power of stepping back, let's move to a lighter yet equally impactful principle: the power of a smile. How can something so simple transform the dynamics of your relationship? Let's continue. 8. Smile often. A smile so simple, yet so powerful. In moments of tension or distance, it might feel like the last thing you want to do. But consider this. What message does your demeanor send? Are you projecting the heaviness of the situation, or are you radiating the inner calm and resilience that Stoicism teaches us to cultivate? A genuine smile has the power to shift not just how others perceive you, but also how you perceive yourself. That when you smile, you communicate strength, positivity, and confidence, even in the face of uncertainty. It says to the world, I am steady, I am strong, and I am at peace with myself. Think about how you feel when someone smiles at you. It disarms tension, softens resistance, and makes the interaction feel lighter and more open. Now imagine how this applies when someone is pulling away. Instead of meeting their distance with worry or frustration, you meet it with warmth and optimism. It's not about ignoring the issues, it's about showing that your emotional state isn't entirely dictated by theirs. Smiling often doesn't mean forcing a grin when you feel down. Instead, it's about finding moments of genuine joy even in challenging times. What are you grateful for? What brings lightness to your day? Reflect on these things and let them naturally shape your demeanor. Your smile also sends an unspoken message. I am resilient. Stoicism teaches us to accept life's challenges with grace. As Marcus Aurelius said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Smiling often is a reflection of this mindset. It shows that you choose positivity and strength, even when faced with adversity. Now consider the effect this has on the person pulling away. A smile invites curiosity. Why are they so composed? What's keeping them grounded? It's a subtle yet profound reminder of the qualities they were drawn to in the first place. It makes them wonder if they've underestimated your strength. So how can you incorporate this principle into your life? Start by practicing mindfulness. Notice when tension begins to cloud your face and consciously soften your expression. Surround yourself with things that uplift you, a favorite song, a walk in nature, or a memory that makes you laugh. Let these moments remind you of the power of a smile. Here's a challenge. After watching this video, take a moment to reflect on the last time you smiled genuinely. Was it today, yesterday, or longer ago? Share it in the comments. Let us know what brings joy to your life, because your positivity could inspire someone else to find their own. If this principle resonates with you, don't forget to like this video. Your engagement helps us share the wisdom of Stoicism and positivity with more people. Together we can create a ripple effect of optimism and resilience. In the next section, we'll delve into the role of self-assurance and how it transforms not only your confidence but also how others perceive you. Ready to discover your unshakable core? Let's continue. 9. Exude self-assurance. Confidence is magnetic. It draws people in, not because it demands attention, but because it quietly asserts, I know who I am, and I am at peace with myself. Self-assurance, however, is not about pretending you have all the answers or masking security. It's about embracing your worth, flaws and all, and showing up authentically. When someone is pulling away, it's easy to let doubt creep in. Did I do something wrong? Am I not enough? These questions can spiral into anxiety, leaving you seeking validation in ways that undermine your self-respect. But consider this. How would the situation change if you trusted yourself completely? If you believed without question in your intrinsic value? Stoicism reminds us to focus on what lies within our control. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Self-assurance stems from this realization. You cannot control how they feel or whether they stay, but you can control how you view yourself and how you respond. Imagine yourself in this scenario. They're growing distant, and instead of reacting with panic, you remain calm. You don't seek constant reassurance or overanalyze every interaction. Instead, you live your life with dignity and purpose. This quiet confidence makes a statement. I value myself, and I'm not defined by anyone else's approval. Self-assurance also influences your actions. It encourages you to make choices that align with your values, rather than acting out of fear. Stop chasing their attention or overcompensating for their distance. Instead, you focus on showing up as your best self, strong, composed, and intentional. But how do you cultivate self-assurance when doubt feels overwhelming? Start by reflecting on your strengths and achievements. What qualities make you unique? What challenges have you overcome? Write them down if you need to. This exercise isn't about inflating your ego, it's about grounding yourself in your truth. Next, pay attention to your inner dialogue. When self-doubt arises, counter it with affirmations of your worth. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, I'm not enough, remind yourself, I am enough exactly as I am. Over time, these small shifts in perspective build a foundation of confidence. Body language also plays a role. The way you carry yourself sends powerful signals to others and to your own mind. Stand tall, make eye contact, and speak with clarity. These nonverbal cues reinforce your self-assurance and subtly influence how others perceive you. Now consider the impact of self-assurance on the person pulling away. They might have expected you to crumble under the weight of their distance, but instead they encounter someone steady and composed. This shift challenges their assumptions and forces them to reevaluate. Your confidence reminds them of your worth, making them question their own actions. Self-assurance is not about proving anything to anyone else. It's about living in alignment with your values and trusting that you are enough, regardless of external circumstances. When you exude this quiet strength, you not only transform how others see you, but also how you see yourself. Take a moment to reflect. What would I do differently today if I fully believed in my own worth? Let that answer guide your next steps. In the final section, we'll explore the ultimate act of freedom, being ready to let go. This powerful principle ties together everything we've discussed and offers a profound path to inner peace. Let's continue. 10. Embrace unpredictability. Predictability can be comforting, but in relationships it often leads to complacency. When someone begins to pull away, they might have already fallen into the assumption that they know exactly what you'll do next, how you'll react, what you'll say, and how you'll respond to their distance. But ask yourself, what happens when you stop being so easy to predict? How does the dynamic shift when you embrace the unexpected? Embracing unpredictability isn't about playing games or acting erratically. It's about showing that you're a dynamic person with depth, someone who cannot be fully figured out or taken for granted. Stoicism reminds us of the power of living authentically and intentionally. To change the course of a drifting relationship, sometimes you need to change the rhythm. Think about a routine you've fallen into with them. Do they always know that you'll be the first to reach out, the one to initiate plans, or the person who will adjust their schedule to accommodate theirs? So predictability, while well-intentioned, can create an imbalance that dulls the spark of connection. By breaking these habits, you remind them and yourself that your life doesn't revolve entirely around their actions. How do you do this? Start with small changes. If you've been the one to send the good morning text every day, let them be the one to initiate. If you're usually the first to respond to their messages, take a bit more time. If you've always prioritized their plans over yours, choose to follow through with your own commitments instead. These subtle shifts show that you have a life of your own, independent and fulfilling. Unpredictability also means exploring and expressing parts of yourself that might have been overlooked. What hobbies have you been neglecting? What new activities can you try that align with your interests? When they see you thriving, learning, and growing in unexpected ways, it challenges their perception of you. It reminds them that you are a person with layers, someone worth rediscovering. But why is unpredictability so powerful? At its core, it creates intrigue. People are drawn to mystery, to the sense that there's always more to learn and discover about someone. By stepping outside of the patterns they've come to expect, you spark curiosity and attention. They may begin to wonder, what's changed? What's going on with them? Have I underestimated their value in my life? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." By embracing unpredictability, you're shifting the thoughts they associate with you from the predictable and routine to the intriguing and dynamic. This isn't about manipulating their perception, it's about embodying your own complexity and growth. However, unpredictability must be balanced with authenticity. It's not about creating false personas or forcing behaviors. Instead, it's about stepping into your full self, someone who is evolving, exploring, and refusing to be boxed into expectations. The unpredictability arises naturally as you invest in your passions, prioritize your growth, and live with intention. Imagine the impact this has on them. They no longer see you as someone waiting in the wings, but as someone who is actively shaping their life. This shift often prompts reflection, even admiration. Your ability to embrace the unexpected makes you not just someone they're drawn to, but someone they respect. As you consider this principle, ask yourself, what areas of my life have become too predictable? What small changes can I make today to bring more dynamism and excitement to my relationships and to myself? These answers hold the key to becoming the kind of person they can't help but notice. Embracing unpredictability isn't just about reigniting their interest, it's about rediscovering your own vitality and individuality. When you live with a sense of curiosity and spontaneity, you not only transform the dynamic of the relationship, but also reconnect with the deeper layers of who you are. This principle ties together the others seamlessly, encouraging you to live intentionally, grow continually, and embrace the richness of the unknown. Let unpredictability be your ally, not as a strategy to regain control, but as a path to your most authentic and magnetic self. If these principles have resonated with you, take a moment to reflect and act. How will you begin to embody them in your own life? Share your journey in the comments and let us know which principle speaks to you most deeply. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Stoicism and personal growth. If this video has brought value to your life, consider liking and sharing it with someone who might need these insights. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more wisdom and practical guidance. And you have the strength to face anything life offers. Stay grounded, stay resilient, and remember, the path to inner peace is always within your reach. Thank you, and I wish you all the clarity, strength, and joy you deserve.